Hello, my name is Tony Chan. I'm reporting for TelecomTV. With me today is Leo Mishan, who is the Director of Product Marketing for RAD. Leo?
Hi.
Great to have you here today.
Happy to meet you.
I understand that RAD has a slightly different interpretation of network functions virtualization. Perhaps you can explain a little bit about that.
Yep, sure. What RAD is doing is distributed NFV. The common perception with NFV is that virtualization takes place at the data centers. This may suit most or many cases, but not all of them. In fact, operators need the flexibility to distribute networking functions in different locations over the network to maximize the efficiency and to reduce costs of the functions. That means to have different functions located in data centers, network nodes, and at the customer edge. Now, we at RAD focus on placing networking functions, virtual networking functions at the networking edge. And there are multiple reasons for that. I can name perhaps four. One would be really must. I mean, some functions really have to be located at the edge to make sense. Like if you're running encryption and you want to have encryption end-to-end, then you really have to have encryption running from the customer edge, or otherwise you'll have a non-secured section between the customer edge to your data center or whatever. Other would be performance. Some function really functions better when they run at the customer edge. Could be regulations that prevents moving data out of the customer locations. Or it could be issues of IT and networking costs. I mean, if you are doing networking functions only in data centers, then you increase your networking costs. So there's a balance between IT and networking costs.
So how is this different from the traditional approach of non-virtualized network functions with the appliances located in the customer premise?
Right. One of the issues that operators are suffering from is having multiple devices that they need to locate at the customer edge. Could be routers, firewalls, or other devices in addition to the network interface device. What we are proposing actually is to have those functions virtualized and running combinedly on a server which is located together with the networking interface device. So you have actually one device at the edge of the customer premises location, which enables to do the embedded capabilities that comes with the network interface device, like providing ports to the user, having a modem building into the unit, doing layer 2, some layer 3 functionalities. And on top of that, we add a server to provide a virtual layer on which you can run virtual functions like firewall, like one optimization and others. So by combining everything together, you get just single device that is installed at the customer locations, and you have like unified, coherent management for that, and you save on place and on power and make it much more simpler and cost-effective for the operators.
Okay, so in terms of potential service or business for operator, what are some of the benefits?
You can place the different types of applications and network functionalities on that server that runs integrated with the network interface device. It could be networking functions to do some diagnostics, like if a customer is calling and having issues, then the operators could be remotely install some diagnostic virtualized application, do this checking to check the quality of the service. And could be a customer that has a need for a firewall or other capabilities, value-added capabilities, and then the operators could be getting additional premium services installed remotely on those devices.
So this proposal of distributed NFV, is it something that's a spin-off of the ETSI NFV ISG, or is it just a redefinition of the approach?
Well, distributed NFV is actually integrated part of NFV from its foundation. I mean, from the original paper that was issued by operators, the call for action on October 2012, it already mentioned that virtualization could be taking place in different locations over the network. And this is going on other documents from the ETSI NFV ISG. So it's really part of the NFV. It's not nothing in particular. The thing is that we are really making sure that it's always maintained and stay as an integrated power. We write another also pray that it stays that way and not forgotten, because it doesn't make sense to have virtualization only located at data centers.
Is there an ecosystem that is built around distributed NFV?
Yes, by the way, I mean, the ETSI has numerous POCs going on, and the fourth one is actually a distributed NFV multiple vendor POC, and it's going to be a live demo of like an ecosystem of operators showing that demo, and I think it's going to be June 16 and 17 and 18. So it's like in a couple of weeks, a live demo showing that ETSI POC. It's a joint effort done with CenturyLink. CenturyLink as a sponsoring operators, and Certes for security, Fortinet for firewall, and RAD for the network interface devices with the virtualization server included, x86 server.
So, I mean, do you see some kind of confrontation between distributed and data center-based NFV? Because as an operator, can they adopt both, or do they have to choose one?
Okay, this brings us to something which is probably very important, the issues of from the operator perspective, adopting that new NFV technology. And here comes the benefit with distributed NFV, because you can actually, as an operator, launch a service in a much more less riskless approach, because you don't need to invest in advance in building a data center and increasing capacity over your links to the data center. You can use those network interfaces devices with the virtualization server on top of them and launch your service and increase your investment as your deployment grows. Actually, later on, of course, it doesn't make sense to maintain virtualization only at the edge. As we said before, it should be distributed over the entire network. So like on phase one, you can have your deployment done only at the edge devices with distributed distributed virtualization at the edge, and later on expand to other nodes and have virtualization done on different locations within the network, and have it sort of a pool of resources, virtualization resources over the network that you can then coherently manage. But that would come later, a little bit later. So it helps to reduce risk and make sure that you're profitable on day one, actually, of your deployment, going that way with distributed NFV at the edge.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Tony.